Good evening and welcome to another edition of Conexiones. My name is Ana Maria Beck and we're here to talk about various topics. Especially tonight we're going to be talking about wellness with one of Viva Nola's contributor writers and a wellness health coach. Her name is Lia Threat and she's going to be discussing a bunch of great tips for a healthy lifestyle. We also visited the Los Isleños Fiesta that took place last weekend where we celebrate the heritage of the Canary Island people who settled in Louisiana a few years ago, but they still cling to their heritage and are proud to portray it during the festival every year. And as always, we'll have the top 5 events for the week that Viva Nola chooses for you to enjoy and have fun. So first, I'm very excited that Leah finally is able to join us in this show. I'm very grateful because you always bring some great, amazing tips about lifestyle, wellness, and trying to balance our lives in these chaotic times, which is not something easy. And providing that all that information and that knowledge that you have acquired, it's very important for me specifically, and I think a lot of people enjoy that type of content. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy that you're here because this is also the Women's Month.
Yeah.
And I think you're a great example of a very brave, successful woman who is juggling different things, including 3 children.
Oh, thank you so much.
And
I'm trying.
Yeah, we're all trying.
Yeah, that's the best you can do.
And really, the content that you provide is something that I try to pay a lot of attention to and try to follow it, but I have to confess that it's not easy.
No, it's not. It's a commitment. I think the hardest thing is not holding yourself to super high standards when it comes to getting started, and just, starting with baby steps and kind of celebrating each milestone that you accomplish. And you will gain a momentum eventually. It takes a while because these are deeply grained habits that we sometimes form during childhood. So I think if you have a coach working with you and have someone in your corner that's kind of rooting for you and checking in on you and kind of working alongside you, that it makes things easier. Or to just have an accountability partner, a friend, or your spouse or a work buddy. Anybody can be your accountability partner, and it makes things go easier.
I agree with you on that. So for many people who don't really understand well what a health coach does, tell me first how you became a health coach and what was your journey into this wellness world and actually going to get certified in something that you're probably passionate about. Tell us about that.
My journey's kind of, I meandered along for a while. So as a child, I really loved animals, and I never enjoyed eating meat. So at about age 13 or 14, I decided I wasn't going to eat meat anymore, and I was going to be vegetarian.
Oh, that's long. Wow.
I was what you would call like a junk food vegetarian. I would say, oh, I don't eat meat, and then I would have instead of getting the chicken
Cheetos
sandwich, I would have the fries and a biscuit by itself with no chicken, no protein. And I survived like that through high school. And then after high school, I went away for school, and my degree that I was pursuing was nutrition. And I did a few study abroads with that, and I moved out of state for dietetics. And then Katrina happened, and I ended up coming back home. And I felt like I needed to be in the city with my family and my parents just for support. And UNO didn't have my program, so I kind of bundled up everything that I had acquired. And I actually was also interested in Latin American studies. And I ended up pursuing an international studies degree in Latin American with a Latin American minor. So as I did that, I graduated and did a little international, dabbled with a little international business with internships, and then I circle, and I was kind of starting to live in a much healthier way and really seeing what it meant to eat healthy. or not eat meat, but kind of support your system and your body so that you're not just walking around deficient and all of these things. And a little while after my son was born, I found a program and started doing that. And I became a health coach in 2015. So it's still my passion. Because of my international studies background, which is heavy on political science, I have a big interest in food policy. Mm-hmm. So that may be a path that I go down maybe in a year or two or later. Wow. But I think it's interesting to see how communities have access to food or lack thereof, or how culture intertwines in someone's health journey, and all of these things that we've learned as children, or events that we enjoy as children and as adults, as part of community and culture and family events. So it's so important. And I also try to include that in all the articles that I write. Like, I try to say, okay, hey, if you're from a different economic background, you can still eat healthy. Here's an option for you. And I try to make that available, because most people are right at or below the poverty line, most of America, right? So everyone's trying to work to provide healthy meals for their children, and I think it's something that everyone can do. It just takes a little tweaking.
And some preparing and
it's
some work.
expensive.
And I remember you wrote one where you actually gave some tips on how to save, you know, because I'm aware that going to the healthier markets can get expensive, but you're like, okay, you can use this coupon for something, and I'm trying to remember, buy the seasonal items. Right. So things that perhaps you were saying it, like, we haven't been educated that way to think along those lines, you know. We like strawberries, and when we go to buy strawberries, or fruits, we think strawberries year round, as opposed to like understanding how even not only cheaper but healthier to have the produce that's in season, because it's fresher, and all this whatever goes behind, you know, transportation and timing and all of that. So always finding and learning from what you provide.
Yeah, and you're supporting your local community at the same time. When I really started to do some research and look into cultures and the way that people ate traditionally, once you get in front of where all the processed food began to change a culture, you start to see that if you can go back to some of those traditional ways of eating, whatever culture it may be, if you start incorporating some of those methods of eating, that usually it's like they instinctually knew what they needed for their geographical location, how to eat it. For example, in Latin American culture, you have a lot of beans and rice. Well, beans are high in iron, and Latinos most often eat theirs with lime, right? And vitamin C makes iron more available. So, like, just looking at some of those things where you're saying, you know what, back before we had any of this canning or processing, people knew how to eat. And sometimes we just have to look and see, okay, what's in my DNA? Where's my family from? What is going to really nourish my body? And sometimes you can look at your family history to find that out.
So interesting. So it's not just for flavor.
Right, right.
There's science
it serves
behind
a lot of
it.
purpose for the body. And I think when you start to learn more about how nutrients work and how vitamins and minerals work off of each other and work synergistically, it's really interesting. And you can kind of say to yourself, okay, well, mama's cooking wasn't so bad, grandma's cooking wasn't so bad, And for me, that it gives you a sense of place and home and belonging as well.
So just food goes so much more beyond just being the way we get energy.
And I think if people can make that connection, it doesn't feel so mundane. And I wrote an article about the meal prepping.
Yes.
And I'm all for meal prepping as like a jump start. to get someone motivated and make it simple. And some people need like a visual to say, okay, certain people have an organizational mind where they say, okay, I need to have my meals ready. That way I know I'm not going to slip up this week. And if you're that type of person, that's great. But I do think that it kind of erases that culture from your mealtime. So it's a good start, but make sure you have variation in there and, have a support system, take a break, and also, don't be hard on yourself with the strict meal planning. I know some people really need that. People that may have had an eating disorder or a food addiction may need to go about things in a different way, but for the most part, it's, you need to add a little flavor in there, variation.
And so, that's kind of like where this goes, working with a health coach. And in the article this month, that's what you're talking about, what is a health coach and what a health coach does. Mm-hmm. And the way I'm listening to you right now, and I'm understanding that you're getting to know the person and the particular needs that that person has. And that's why it's important. Mm-hmm. So tell me, why is it different to work with a health coach as opposed to like your regular doctor, or how does it complement each other, and what benefits do I get from working with you as a health coach?
Well, a health coach is more like helps you with behavior change, and we have a scope of practice. So, for example, when it gets beyond my scope, say I meet with a client and they say, I just can't stop eating this food. I'm binging or I'm restricting. Well, that's when I say, okay, this is out of my scope of practice. And then you refer out to another expert, such as a food therapist or a psychologist if there's trauma related to the eating habits. So the health coach, I like to believe that a health coach is there for advocacy, to kind of open your mind on what things you can discuss with your doctor, questions to ask, research. We share research with our clients, things to discuss with your doctor, new changes that are being made in the food systems, and also just ideas with recipes, your basics. Hey, I don't know where to start. Where can I go for this? I don't really like running. What other exercises would I be able to do? And just having all of those resources available for a client, and also being there for accountability. Checking in. Hey, where are you at in your process? What are your goals? What are the kind of hiccups along the way that you're coming across? Why do you think you're doing this? Or are you practicing a form of self-sabotage? A lot of people do that on their journey. Not consciously, but as a health coach, our role is to kind of point out and help someone see their journey a little clearer, and step back a little bit. We're not there to prescribe a diet. That's for the dietitians to do. And we're not there to tell people not to take their medication or when to start and stop, but we're there for support. And a lot of doctors are beginning to work with health coaches because they need that support. When they're seeing 20, 30 patients a day or more, depending on the practice, they don't have time to sit and say, okay, tell me about what you did as a child. Tell me about your health history. They don't have time for that,
Which is kind of like crazy, but at the same time, it creates a whole new market for people who want to focus on this type of things. And you also mentioned that now there was a bill that passed that allows health coaches to build insurance companies. Mm-hmm.
It's in the beginning stages. The policy has been set in place. Those kind of things take a while to catch on and have doctors start using the coding and billing the insurance companies for it. But I know that it's actually there now. And a lot of insurance companies are actually starting to hire health coaches. You'll see a lot of times when you call in, they'll have one that you can speak to on the phone, or it will be part of their program. Some wellness accounts with jobs.
Corporate wellness.
Right. Also have that available. become more mainstream. I think in the beginning, people were like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not a doctor, but even physicians and other healthcare professionals are working alongside health coaches because they need the support as well.
So if I sign you as my health coach, how often do we see each other, or how does that work?
I offer different services. So sometimes people just need a jump start. Like they may kind of have a background, they know how to eat healthy, they just kind of need to get going. So we'll do like a health discovery where I sit down with the person, we review their goals, where they're at currently, where they want to be, what is the time frame for that, and then we go over how they're eating, what their habits are like, how they're sleeping, all kinds of different factors that go into play with your general well-being. So there's like a basic one session, and then I also do a contract where it's over an extended period of time where we'll meet a few times a month for maybe 6 months, like a program. So it's personalized.
Personalized
for the client.
So we promised we were going to be talking about this coronavirus, which it's scaring a lot of people, and it's good to take precautions and to take measures to be protected.
Absolutely.
But I want to say that people shouldn't freak out about this. I feel pretty comfortable with looking at it as any other serious virus that has taken place a couple of years ago.
Right.
You know, we've heard about all these different waves of viruses that perhaps doctors weren't ready for. And we're going to go into the future because you just provided the article for next edition. But I thought it was a good idea to talk about it since you're here and since you have these great tips about how to boost your immune system to be stronger against viruses like that. So tell us about that.
Sure. Well, of course, I'm not a physician, so my recommendations, I wanted to share some of the things that I do personally. So basically, I look at it as just preparing your body. A lot of people are like, well, freaking out, how can I prepare the environment around me? Instead of saying, okay, what do I need internally that will support my body while all of this chaos is going on? And I always like to start from a whole foods approach where you're not saying, hey, go out and buy 50 different supplements or vitamins, but you're saying, hey, try to incorporate some more of these great foods that have had lots of research done on them and have proven to have a great impact on the healing process. So things like garlic and ginger and onions and great herbs like oregano and sage, elderberry, echinacea, and then making sure that you're not deficient in minerals and vitamins that support your immunity, like zinc and vitamin D and vitamin C and vitamin A. So I think those are all things that are important. Making sure you get good rest, quality sleep. I mean, that's your body's main time to recover. So that's a challenge, but most people don't get adequate sleep. But for the rest of it, I think just trying to get a colorful diet every day and keep your stress levels low.
You mentioned some oils. I forgot the name.
Essential oils.
Essential. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, most of them are pretty ancient. Like you'll see them mentioned in ancient texts a lot of times. Rosemary, oregano, thyme, lemon. All of those are great oils to have around your house and clean with. You can add them to cleaning solutions, natural cleaning solutions, and just basic hand washing.
Right.
Basic hygiene.
That's what everybody's putting emphasis on. Is like wash your hands with a lot of soap. I love it because they put the Louisiana twist in it, and it's like wash your hands is as if you ate crawfish and you have to take out your contact lenses.
That's
so I think it's pretty
idea.
clever and it's really funny, but it's true.
Yeah,
because if we eat crawfish, well, I don't think you do, but if we
you're
eat
all
crawfish,
under the fingernails,
and all the spice is
right.
there, and if you're gonna touch your eyes, you have to wash your hands for a long time. So I thought that was very clever and cute for Louisianans. So remember that. But I do think, you know, like having those nutrients and those vitamins, incorporating them into the diet, because we usually don't think about them. But now that we're talking about this, oh, I don't want to get sick. So kind of like use this scare also to remember the importance of the food, how food is a source for a healthy lifestyle and for a healthy immune system.
Yeah, our bodies are designed in an
fight
amazing way, and we come across all of these viruses and bacteria every day, and our body is fighting those things off. And this is another virus. They kind of mutate and change. There have been other coronaviruses, like SARS and MERS. So we have the flu. And so it's similar to the flu. And so I think if you kind of put it in that perspective, you can kind of, consume the things that you would if you had the flu too. Those same things would support your body for this virus, I think.
Thank you so much.
We're
going to take a little break where we're going to see the feature that we prepare for this weekend, this past weekend. Do you know Los Isleños Festival?
I was looking at it online.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to go, but it looks amazing.
So they do it every year, and I don't know why they always have like this perfect weather, and it's out in St. Bernard, so it was really interesting. So when we come back, we'll see that. We're going to take a little break right now.
At Brown Tax Services, we know our clients and offer planning strategies to protect their profits. Miriam Brown's expertise, professionalism, and great customer support make Brown Tax Services the best company to handle your accounting, payroll, and tax preparation. Make every dollar count with Brown Tax Services. Call now 504-362-0540 or visit miriambrown.com. Located at 512 Terry Parkway, Suite C.
¡Ay, qué bueno! Jamie tendrá una fiesta.
¿Y sus padres estarán ahí?
Claro que sí, mami.
Dime, ¿no crees tú que van a beber alcohol ahí, correcto?
No, no creo.
Isa, sabemos que hay presión de muchos para tomar, pero te pedimos que no bebas. El alcohol puede hacer que hagas cosas de las cuales te puedes arrepentir.
Seguro que a Dani nunca le preguntan sobre esto cuando él sale.
Sí me preguntan, y tienen bastante razón.
Hable, ellos escuchan. Patrocinado por el Departamento de Salud y Servicios Humanos de los Estados Unidos.
So let's take a look at Los Isleños Fiesta that took place in St. Bernard Parish last weekend.
Nosotros somos un grupo de unos 32 componentes, en esta ocasión no han podido desplazarse todos hasta aquí, hemos venido 24 y nada, nosotros estamos realizando lo que es la tarea de divulgar el folclore y en la rondalla desde el año 64. Después se hizo un pequeño parón, retomamos en el 82 hasta la actualidad, o sea, es una de las agrupaciones más antiguas de la isla de Fuerteventura. Y hemos venido a representar el folclore de nuestra isla y también un poco del resto de las Islas Canarias y de la música popular canaria, aquí en la fiesta de los isleños.
Nosotros ese sentimiento tan arraigado y tan fuerte no lo tenemos en las islas. Sí intentamos luchar y potenciar lo que son las tradiciones de la isla, pero la verdad que a mí me ha llamado bastante la atención de cómo aquí lo viven, cómo están interesados en conocer todo en referencia al folclore, a las vestimentas, a la cultura popular, a lo que es la alimentación. La verdad que lo tienen bastante pensado y cuidado, ¿no? Y me sorprende eso, pues cómo lo viven y cómo lo sienten y lo que quieren es aprender sobre todo lo que es las Islas Canarias. Una de las tradiciones de la isla de Fuerteventura, como es el calado, es una tradición, un arte tradicional, principalmente hecho por las mujeres, y este pues arte se llama redondillo majorero en este caso, que lo que se hace es una falda de manto y saya. Manto y saya significa que pues, la falda se utiliza para taparse el cabello de las mujeres. Luego es muy característico, que a veces nos confunden con mexicanos, es un traje, es un gorro de ala ancha, está hecho de hoja de palmera, trenzada y con los diferentes atuendos que tiene, y luego tiene una falda que es listada de rayas de colores, en función de cada chico tiene un color diferente, y principalmente eso es el traje típico de la isla de Fuerteventura. Y luego pues el hombre pues es bastante más sencillo, pues compuesto de un chaleco y un calzón corto y unas polainas, lo que se llama que llevan los pies, con un vivo rojo y un fajín.
Los isleños son gente de las Islas Canarias y son descendientes de gente navegantes de todas partes. Eran de África, de Europa, de todas, y fueron islas conquistadas por España, por eso son españoles. Y después fueron gente de España también, y allí repoblaron, portugueses, en Canarias hay de toda clase de gente, todas las razas. Es importante porque están reconociendo la existencia de los isleños aquí en Nueva Orleans. Entonces se unieron la gente de aquí y la de Canarias, y por eso fue tan importante que sigan haciendo estos festivales. Los ayuntamientos y las comunidades canarias están muy interesadas también en reencontrarse con la gente de aquí, que son los ancestros.
That have the same heritage as me, you know, they have the different foods, you know, that are authentic to the Canary Islands. You know, we have the dancers and the musicians who came from Fuerteventura, which is one of the islands in the Canary Islands. It's good to see authentic dance and authentic music, you know, for us to help us to learn more about the places that they came from.
A beautiful weekend for that event. So we have all these events in town, and I hope they don't start getting all canceled. I know there have been some cancellations because of this coronavirus scare. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do to take care of yourself, and you have to follow your instinct. And if you don't feel safe going to these places, then, you know, stay home and be healthy and drink your teas and your vitamins and stay healthy. So to finalize this nice interview that we had here, really I enjoyed talking to you and learning all this great information, and I hope you can come more often.
Yeah.
Balancing act between the three kids and the jobs and the home and the writing. But I would love to have you here more often so that we can do small tips here and there all the time.
Definitely.
So for those of people that might be interested in coming to you and going through that 15-minute consultation that you provide at no charge, tell us how it works?
Well, the 15-minute consultation is basically like a discovery session. And I meet with clients and we kind of go over a health history and look at the client's goals. And then we will decide what the client wants to do moving forward, if we're a good fit. It's a free session, so usually we start off with a client just sending me an email, and then I'll open up my calendar and we'll go from there.
And the email address, we have it right here, is
wellnesswithlia@gmail.com, and that's Lia, Lia.
Lia. And also you can find her on Instagram, on Facebook. You can write to Vivanola. We'll get the information to Lia. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Like I said, this is your home.
Thank you.
Anytime you have something that you need to say, let me know and we'll schedule you in.
I'll be here.
And to finalize our show tonight, we're going to leave you with some messages. And as always, we'll have the events for the week. Again, remember to check for details on vivanolamag.com website in case they get canceled. But we'll be right back with the events. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
La temporada de taxes ha dado inicio y se acerca la fecha límite para realizar su declaración de impuestos. ID Card Center cuenta con agentes autorizados para gestionar su declaración, contestar todas las preguntas acerca de su reembolso y para tramitar su número y TIN. Los dígitos medios del 83 al 87 deben renovarse ahora. El equipo de ID Card Center cuenta con el conocimiento y la experiencia para guiarlo en su declaración de impuestos. 3901 Williams Boulevard, Suite 7, en Kenner, 504-305-4832.
Here are the top 5 events recommended by Vivanola magazine. This weekend, you can enjoy the St. Joseph and St. Patrick celebrations. On Sunday, March 15th, the Irish Parade will take place in Metairie Road from noon until 3 p.m. The French Market will host the St. Joseph's Day celebration from noon to 4 p.m., featuring a traditional St. Joseph's altar and live music and much more. During the week, the New Orleans Wine and Food Experience is happening throughout the city from March 18th through the 21st. And 2 events on Thursday you don't want to miss are the Power Up Women's Leadership Conference presented by Fidelity Bank Power and the New Orleans Chamber of Commerce. This professional development experience for like-minded individuals, both men and women, includes a keynote luncheon and multiple breakout sessions. While most content will be focused on women's challenges, they strongly recommend men to attend and join these important conversations on March 19th from 8 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. at the Hyatt Regency New Orleans. Top Taco Fest is set for Thursday, March 19th from 7 to 10 p.m. at the Waldenberg Riverfront Park. For tickets, you can visit toptaconola.com. And for details and more events, check out Vivanola's website at vivanolamag.com. I'll see you next time.